for one day. An immortal moment can be stamped in time, soaked in gasoline, covered in burnt rubber, and smothered with adrenaline. In what is to be a new era of racing, you can either adapt or get left in the dust. Tick-tock. The great American race waits for no one. The countdown is on. This is Countdown to Daytona.
Like that, NASCAR is back and the landscape of the sport has changed dramatically.
Just in time for the most dramatic race of the year, which happens to be the first one. Welcome to the 2026 season and welcome to Around the Track presents Countdown to Daytona. Gabe McDonald alongside the driver of the iconic 43 car for Legacy Motor Club, Eric Jones, and the newest member of our NASCAR team, Casey Funderburg.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here and happy to be right here in a place where a lot of Daytona 500 winners end up finding themselves. It's the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Uptown Charlotte, North Carolina, and we're going to take you through the walls of the hall to get you ready for the 2026 season, and that includes an exclusive interview with someone who has won the Daytona 500 and has a couple Cup Series championships under his belt, and that's Team Penske's Joey Logano.
Absolutely. We're going to break down all the schedule changes, the new additions to the playoffs, and so much more, and nobody better to do that with than Mr. Eric Jones. Eric, going to Daytona to kick off the season, certainly a place that isn't for the faint of heart.
No, not really. It's always an exciting one, and it's one that's I think everybody looks forward to just being a part of and having the opportunity to race and be a Daytona 500 champion. So always honored to be in it and be in the running. So be fun to get there.
Not every sport starts the season off with the biggest race of the season. So the fact that you all do that, how does it just make it more exciting for a driver?
Yeah, everybody's feeling good right now, rested up and ready to get the season going. Everybody's hopes are high and new changes in place. And you really, there's some nerves in there too to see how everything's going to work out, but just to have a shot to be in the 500 and a shot to maybe win it as well is enough to get you pretty pumped up.
Without further ado, let's go ahead and drop the green flag and get you primed and ready for NASCAR Super Bowl. You won't find many sports where the biggest event of the year kicks off the season. The Daytona 500 is a spectacle unlike any other. Daytona International Speedway is in the shadows of the Atlantic, and just like a wave crashing on the shore, any driver's dreams can be swept away in an instant. That's how intense the racing gets on the 2.5-mile super speedway, where it's not a matter of if, but when the big one happens. Anyone can win a race on Sundays. However, only a few are in the prestigious fraternity of Daytona 500 champions, a title every driver in the field is vying for.
Yeah, looking forward to going down there, Daytona. Try to see if we can make William not win one. But yeah, I look forward to
good there.
What's that?
You're pretty good there.
You've won the last two. Shut up. Yeah, but I look forward to getting back with my guys and getting the year rolling and seeing how the week goes in Daytona.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's a long week down there, so just excited to. I mean, it kind of feels like a little summer or spring break when you go down there, so it's fun. And then, yeah, just get ready. You know, it's so long from now, but excited to kind of do all the procedural stuff and go pretty fast again.
Eric, from your perspective, what are some of the main challenges of super speedway racing? Because we've seen it come a long way and change a lot over the course of the past few years, no matter where you're going, whether it be Talladega or, of course, a place like Daytona to kick off the season.
It's changed a bunch with the next-gen car, especially in the last few years. And I think the biggest change we've seen really is the fuel mileage come into play. With this car, we have a bigger fuel cell, so we're always saving fuel, trying to be on pit road the last time with putting the least amount of fuel in compared to everybody else to try to get out front. It's hard to pass. It's hard to get to the front. So if you get up there and have an opportunity to get up there, you got to keep it. But just the focus that it takes for that 500-mile race and the stakes that are in the 500, it's hard to make it through that day and not feel worn out by the end, but a lot of fun to have a shot.
That focus and challenges that Daytona brings, how does that just make you a better driver in the end?
I think every year you get a shot to go through it, you get a little bit better with it, right? The first year you're probably not the most comfortable being in that race and you're a little unsure what's going on, but at this point, after you get a few years down the road, you go into it at least feeling like you have some kind of plan and knowing what's going to happen and how the race is going to play out a little bit better. So that always feels good as a driver, just having some sense of how it goes and hopefully being there at the end of 500 miles. That's all you can really ask for at Daytona is to be there, 10 to go, and have a chance.
Well, Eric, we're going to get your thoughts on this in just a moment, but it's no more win and you're in. Brand new format with NASCAR this season. Some people, they're excited about it. Others, well, not so much, and we want to know what all the fuss is about. So Joey Ellis is here to break down the new chase format for the Cup.
In a sport that has seen plenty of changes over the decade, NASCAR now has another change with the Daytona 500 and 2026 season right on the horizon. The championship format, but it's not an unfamiliar one. The chase is back. No more win and in situations, with the top 16 point leader sprinting to the end with 10 races to claim the Bill France Cup.
I think that this is the most perfect compromise that you could ever ask for. It's going to require our champion to be lightning fast and incredibly consistent.
Consistency will be key in this new format, with emphasis on every race just as important as the format prior. The win and in is no more, with the chase format now pitting the top 16 point leaders against each other in an effort to outrace each other over the final 10 races in a quest for the Bill France Cup, all while keeping what's great with the sport still intact.
You know, I do think this format is kind of that perfect blend. It kind of has a little bit of all the elements. Like, it still has a playoff element to it. You know, it still obviously has the chase, format to it, but then it still has regular season points where every race is going to matter.
And in the year 2026, not everybody is going to be happy with the format. There will be some mixed reviews, both in the garages and amongst the fans, but the drivers themselves know that, but believe in this model and believe it best helps showcase the true art of racing.
The TV partners and a lot of folks liked what we had, right? Liked the total chaos that went on, and it probably was great for retweets and maybe getting on SportsCenter or something if they were lucky. But to Ryan's point, I hope that this is more of a directional change to where we can put some more celebration in the craft and really putting together these pretty pictures more so than just some clickbait. At the end of the day.
Well, as is the case in the year 2026, of course, not everybody is going to enjoy and agree with this championship format, but the overwhelming majority of these active drivers seem to love having the chase back, and we'll get to see this championship format back in the fray when we drop the green flag in Daytona.
Appreciate it, Joey. Eric, are you one of these guys who were like, yes, I'm excited it's back, or were you one of the ones that were kind of like, oh, I'm not sure how I feel about it?
I think we were all ready for a change. The points format we had worked really well for a number of years, but it was time to switch it up. And I think you look at this points format that we're going to, and the body of work you put in the whole season really matters now. And as a driver, that's rewarding. It makes every race, every week matter. There's the weeks that you're off are still going to matter. With the points format we had, it felt like you could almost have a break in there at some point. So I'm excited about it. I think at the end of the year, the guy who wins the championship is going to feel a real sense of pride in it, and excited to see who it's going to be.
I think a number of drivers would agree. Consistency, certainly the name of the game with this new format. We got a lot more coming up here on Countdown to Daytona, including more with the guy who's sporting a new look ahead of this season.
It's the moment of winning is what it really is, that feeling of victory. It's changed over time because at first it was all about me.
As he gears up for year 18 at NASCAR's top level, the motivation is still alive and well for one of the best the sport has ever seen. Coming up, we go one-on-one with the three-time champ himself, Joey Logano.
8 cars, 4 spots, and no guarantees. Not everyone has a spot in the main event at Daytona, which means they'll be fighting their way in. We'll look at who just ahead.
Well, he might be known for taking his shirt off, and we're not talking about this guy or Petey Pablo for that matter. We're talking about Bert Kreischer, one of the funniest men alive. How did he get involved with NASCAR and the Daytona 500? We have a special one-on-one with the comedian coming up right here on Countdown to Daytona.
What gear do you drive in?
Rolling.
Well, Casey Funderburg here alongside Cup Series driver Eric Jones, and we are back here at the Hall of Fame. And Eric, we do know only 40 cars make the field. There are going to be 41 this year, but some of those guys, they don't have a guaranteed spot. So when you're going up against them in the duels, just how dicey can it get out there?
It's pretty challenging because if you're locked in, you're just trying to get your car to Sunday. This is the best car that you've brought for the whole week. You want to race in the big race on Sunday. Whereas those guys, they don't really care as much. They just want to get in the show and have a shot on Sunday to be racing. So you got to kind of balance the aggression and the pace to try to get a good starting spot. but also make it to the race on Sunday with the same car.
Well, here's a look at some of those guys who will be fighting their way into the main event. A friend of the show, Corey LaJoie, is getting his shot with RFK Racing. He'll wheel the recently acquired 99 car. Fast Pasta Anthony Alfredo will yet again drive for Beard Motorsport in the 62. Former O'Reilly Series champion Justin Allgaier is teaming up with country superstar Chris Stapleton and Dale Jr. to drive the 40 for Junior Motorsport. Truck Series champ Corey Heim will drive the car for 2311 Racing. Cup Series vet Casey Mears is back driving for Garage 66. Chandler Smith, BJ McLeod, and JJ Yealy will also look to make the show. So that's 8 cars looking to fill 4 spots. But wait, Eric, your team's owner and 7-time Cup Series champion Jimmy Johnson is also an open car. However, he's locked into the field already. He opted to use an open exemption provisional. Eric, you've driven against all of these guys, but which ones stand out to you that would make the biggest splash come Sunday?
I think 3 guys stand out to me, and that's Corey LaJoie, Corey Heim, and Justin Allgaier. They're in cars that are probably all capable of winning the race on Sunday, so if they can get their car in, have a shot to be in it, they're going to have a shot to win. So I think those are guys to watch out for, see what they can do, and I'm sure they'll have some fun with it.
Well, from making the field to making their way back into victory lane, Gabe McDonald has more on a living legend in the sport.
Appreciate it, Casey. Love him or hate him, Joey Logano has cemented himself as one of the best this sport has ever seen, with 3 championships to his name. And even with all the accomplishments, he's still just as hungry as he was when he entered the sport 18 years ago. I got to catch up with the man that's one day going to be in this very hall as he gears up for another season behind the wheel of the 22. Well, Joey, a bit of a different backdrop. We're at your very own production studio, Clutch Studios. I know you've been the owner for the past several years. Just take me through how you got into this realm of, just being on this side of the camera and just kind of tapping into something different off the track.
It's the opportunity was sitting there in front of us. We do a lot of shoots throughout the season for just my own car, and we were going to just different random places around Charlotte, and kind of had this building. This building was my toy box before. I'm a car guy at heart, and so I was like, hey, I think we can just do this here, and put up a cyc wall, and then that kind of grew into doing a lot more than just my stuff and doing a lot of NASCAR industry stuff. Now a lot of businesses within Charlotte, and then as people travel in now from a long ways away, we've done Super Bowl commercials and the whole nine, all right here in Huntersville. So it's been a cool ride to see it all grow just naturally, right? I mean, it's not very often that you get started a business and you already have the customers ready to go, right, from the racing side, and just let that grow naturally from there.
Big changes coming on the track this year, new playoff format. Obviously, everybody had their comments about you winning the title a couple years ago and how that played out. How do you see things faring out with going back to the chase and just how it really is going to be able to reward consistency over the course of the whole season as opposed to, the old format that we had?
Yeah, it's definitely more based towards consistency. And good, bad, any different, I don't know, right? I mean, it depends on what you like, and every fan's probably a little bit different. But I do think, it'll be interesting to see how the season itself plays out. The first 26 races, the regular season races, are going to be very important to make sure that you're in the top 5 by the time the chase starts. Personally, I believe if you're outside the top 5 when the chase starts, you're probably not going to win. You might get close, but I don't think you're going to really be a threat to win. So you got to have a solid regular season to have a shot at winning the championship at the end of the year, in my opinion.
When you look at, just you being the elder statesman of the group and have been for quite some time, what is it that still motivates you and, just wakes you up every day to still go out here and do this?
Trophies, man. I just like to win. Really, I mean, I say the trophies. It's the moment of winning is what it really is, that feeling of victory. It's changed over time because at first it was all about me, and I wanted to win for me. Now, as I've done this longer and the relationships grow within the team, I love seeing everybody win. Right? I love seeing my team enjoy that victory. I love seeing our sponsors enjoy it and what that means to them. It's cool to experience it from that perspective now.
Getting ready to go down to Daytona, race you won in 2015. Obviously, everybody knows to join that elite fraternity is obviously something special in this sport. What would it mean for you to be able to go down and be able to join the fraternity of guys that have won it multiple times, especially when you think about a guy in William Byron that's won it back-to-back years now trying to stop the three-peat?
Yeah, we got to stop that. Can't happen. Daytona is just such a large event, right? And you said it. You want to be able to say you've won the Great American Race as many times as possible. The facts are you get one shot a year to do it, and there's no telling who's going to win that thing. Nobody, thinks twice about making the aggressive move, which causes chaos on the racetrack. So you know the last 10, 15 laps of the race, as it gets closer to the end, you kind of feel it inside the car like, oh boy, trouble's brewing. And you just want to be in front of it. And unfortunately, we've been caught up in it a lot lately. And so hopefully we can be in front of it this year.
Now, we're genuinely shocked Burt kept his shirt on for this entire interview, but up next, you're going to find out how you can party with one of the world's biggest names in comedy at the Great American Race.
And after 11 seasons being known as the Xfinity Series, NASCAR's second tier has a new name, a new motto, and is looking to bring higher intensity. We'll hear what the drivers have to say about the O Series next on Countdown to Daytona. Raw Racing, a new motto for NASCAR's second tier series known as the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. There's plenty of buzz surrounding the O Series heading into the 2026 season, from the rookies to the established stars and the seasoned veterans. And it's a series that has come a long way over the years, and with a major rebrand, allows the chance for teams and drivers to prove that the racing we see on Saturdays is just as good as the product at the highest level on Sundays.
You can really tell that their want and their effort to kind of move our sport forward is really apparent. And I think as a driver and as teams and as kind of everybody that supports the series, like it really, it's exciting because it pushes us all to move forward, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, when it comes to the O Series, you can expect some of those guys to be hanging out with our next guest. When it comes to the Daytona 500, all the celebrities want in. That includes Burt Kreischer, who loves this sport so much, he started his own tailgate for it, Casey.
Hopefully we get invited to that here pretty soon. Well, Joey Ellis sat down with the comedian to talk more about his love for NASCAR.
Burt Kreischer, stand-up comedian, father, podcast host,
author,
actor,
producer, writer. It's so silly. Just comedian and party host.
Party host as well. Really my first big question too, just in the minimal research that it took, just looking you up, looking into the background, why the hell aren't we doing this with our shirts off at this point?
You tell me. I think probably because the network would lose their mind. When I was young, I'd go in to do like local news, and they have a young producer, 27, right out of college, and she'd be like, "Hi, you're gonna sit there, you're gonna talk to Bill," and I said my shirt's gonna probably come off. She goes, "Absolutely not."
It's good TV.
And I'd be like, "Young lady, it's kind of my thing." She'd be like, "It will not be happening," and I just do it anyway, and then it would go nuts, and then she'd be like, "How did you know that was gonna work?" And I was like, "Oh God."
We can't have you in Charlotte where racing and NASCAR is paramount in the city as it is here. Obviously, you're going to be going to Daytona. You've never been there. You get your full.
No, I've been there.
I've been there out to the race itself.
The reason we teamed with NASCAR.
Yeah.
We teamed with NASCAR to throw the official pre-party for the for the Daytona 500 at the Ocean Center the day before NASCAR, February 14th. And the only reason I'm doing it is because I'd been to Daytona.
Yeah.
And it is such a party. It is such a party. It is so fun. And I got recognized more than anywhere I've ever been recognized in my life. Like Johnny Cash in prison. And I was like, dude, everyone's here 4 days before. Right. Why aren't we throwing like a crazy party? So I got Leonard Skinner. I got Diplo. I got Ernest. I'm bringing a bunch of comedians. We're going to run the whole day. We got beer. We got barbecue. It is a one-night only event. It is the pre-party. But it's because I'd been to Daytona and I realized how much fun it was.
It's going to be a blast for sure. I mean, what's your affinity with the sport of NASCAR? Did you have we were talking about Dale Sr. early on. Did you have a favorite driver in the past, one in the present that you kind of?
First of all, Joey Logano is always going to be my favorite driver because he's the first NASCAR guy that ever knew who I was. The community is incredible. Yeah. I mean, it really is. To get around and just walk around where everyone's camped out is absolutely amazing.
Really looking forward to Daytona. Hopefully we'll bump into you there.
It's going to be.
Should be a great week.
It's going to be a blast. Get your tickets at fullthrottlefestival.com, February 14th, the official pre-party for the Daytona 500. Me, Leonard Skinner, Diplo, and Ernest. It's going to be a blast.
It's going to be a blast. There you have it.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Unlike recent years, the 2026 NASCAR schedule sees a lot of shuffling, with a new and unique track making its debut and some old favorites returning to the circuit. We break down all the changes up next.
Here are some of the key schedule changes for the upcoming season. The All-Star Race is a new home, at least for this year. It will move to Dover and is slated for May 17th. With that, North Wilkesboro is hosting a points race for the first time in 30 years. Now, we still have a street race this year. However, it's moving to the West Coast to Naval Base Coronado in San Diego. The Windy City still gets a race, with Chicagoland Speedway returning to the schedule for the first time since 2019. Now, looking at the postseason, the playoff race at Charlotte Motor Speedway shifting from the Roval to the mile-and-a-half oval. And we're going to return to the 305 to crown champions, with Homestead Miami hosting the title races in all 3 of the National Series.
So Eric, a lot of changes to the schedule this season. What are you looking forward to most?
I think it's hard not to pick the race at the Naval Base in San Diego. That's going to be a lot of fun and a neat experience. But Chicagoland too, really excited. Love going to Chicago, and still going there is great. And that's been a great track for us when we did go there years ago. So a lot of fun, a lot of cool places coming up, and I think another great year of racing.
Absolutely, a lot of excitement for the fans with new locations getting involved and going back to iconic North Wilkesboro for a point race. Going to be special throughout the entire season. Well, that's going to do it for Countdown to Daytona. For Eric Jones and Casey Funderburg, I'm Gabe McDonald. Enjoy all the action down at Daytona and throughout the entire 2026 season.